Dumaguete.
Hello, Negros Oriental.
Hello, Sillimanians around the world.
This is Joshua Soldivillo.
And this is Ronelyn Faith Vailoces.
You're watching
#Silliman.
For #Silliman updates, the Dr. Javito R. Salonga Center for Law and Development of the Silliman University College of Law started an online initiative to gather lawyers, law students, and undergraduates for conversations about different ways a lawyer should think. The center dubbed the webinar series Think Like a Lawyer. In the past sessions, the initiative has invited experts from around the country, like CA Justice Pamela Maxino, PAO Chief Persida Acosta, Attorney Nilo Divina, and Prosecutor Emilu Bendinillo. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Honorable Alexander G. Gesmundo, will be the guest speaker for the culmination of the webinar series on July 9, 2022.
Silliman University produced 13 licensed architects who passed the June 2022 Architect Licensure Examination, garnering a 100% passing rate. The national passing rate is at 63.72%, 3,037 passers out of 4,766 takers. The Professional Regulation Commission or PRC released the ALE passers list last June 22. Congratulations and keep up the good work.
Meanwhile, the 60th Silliman University National Writers Workshop opened with a virtual ceremony on June 27, 2022. The lecture series started with Dr. Alice Sankua, whose lecture focused on journeys on ending writing the travel narrative, and Professor Timothy Montes on Edith Tiempo as fiction writer, held last July 1, 2022. The lecture is open for free to the public and will be live streamed through the official SUNWW Facebook page. That would be all. See you next week for another set of #Silliman updates.
Good evening, everyone. This is a magazine program that talks about different aspects of Silliman University.
A program initiated to discuss matters concerning the campus by the sea. You're watching #Silliman. Mayong gabi sa tanan and welcome to #Silliman. It's another Monday night, and thank you for choosing us your Monday night habit. And we are already in the month of July. Happy Nutrition Month to everyone. And speaking of nutrition, part of which is also our lifestyle, our eating habits, and of course, we'll be talking about very timely, no? We'll be talking about sciences, and in the last episode, we actually featured our Institute of Clinical Laboratory Sciences and the College of Nursing. In this episode, we'll be dedicating it for our BS Pharmacy program and of course, our BS PT program. So let's introduce our guest for tonight. We have the Dean or the Director of the Institute of Rehabilitative Sciences. Please help me welcome Dr. Lily D. Bautista. Ma'am, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting us here. It's such an honor. Thank you.
We also have here with us an incoming intern and fourth-year physical therapy student, Miss Angel Megumi Quiamco.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. And of course, joining us is a faculty member of the Pharmacy Department. We have Assistant Professor Jeanne F. Rufino. Ma'am Giselle, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much. It is an honor for us to be invited in this talk show.
We also have here with us tonight one of the pioneer batch of the pharmacy program. She graduated Magna cum laude. Let's all welcome Miss Criezl Bajado.
Hello, good evening everyone.
Wow, congratulations, Criezl. And speaking of saying our words of congratulations, I'd like to give some airtime to our faculty member here in our pharmacy department to please congratulate our recent graduates. And of course, how many Latin honors did we have?
Yes.
And maybe you can talk about how many graduates also your department recently had.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. We have proudly announced that we have produced 13 pioneering batch of class 2022, and we have produced Magna cum laude in the person of Criezl Bajado and Miss Criezl Acabo as well. So right now we have Criezl together with us, and as of the moment we are already welcoming students that is coming into joining our course this school year.
Yeah, speaking of the pioneer batch, we would like to ask how young or how old is the BS Pharmacy program and of course, Institute of Rehabilitative Sciences. Let's start with pharmacy.
Yes, the BS Pharmacy just started June 2018 and up to the present, and we are growing in numbers as well. So it's a booming baby course in the Silliman University.
Right.
Doc Lily.
Yes, but first and foremost, let me congratulate also like our
Do
graduates.
you have
Yes.
graduates already at this point, Dr. Lily?
Yes, so we had like 31 graduates like of 2022 and we produced like 2 cum laudes.
Wow.
And also, of course, I would like to mention our new board passers. So
Yes.
we were placed as the top 3 school, like, you know, on the last like board examination. As far as the length of the program, we started in 1993, so we're going on 29 years. So I don't know how many batches we've had since then. It has been an up and down ride for the institute, but we have been like steadily going up, and our number of applicants have been increasing. So we're a growing family, so it's a very, very exciting time for the institute.
This is a kind of a personal question, Dr. Lily, because I know we're already in our second year of online distance learning, and here we are hearing good news such as being in the top 3, I guess, right? Top 3. How does it feel that, you know, amidst the pandemic, we still managed to make it?
For our, I know, I'm pretty sure like with the board passers, it was really a challenge for them
Right.
because their board exams were like canceled 2 or 3 times. So they reviewed and then they get canceled and they reviewed. And so like it was really very challenging for them. Now, as far as the department, I mean, we've been pretty resilient. So we have been one of the very few actually in the Philippines that did the face-to-face internship since 2019. So we were
Wow.
still under the old guidelines back then. So we had to go through approvals from like DOH, IETF, but we were able to do face-to-face internship. Of course, albeit blended since 2019. So I think challenges-wise, it's because of like us not being able to travel outside of the Magete, but I think they got the experience that they needed for clinical practice.
And hats off to the faculty and staff of IRS.
Yes,
for
yes. It's a lot of work, a lot of
Yeah.
requirements. So yes, so hats off to the faculty and staff, and especially the staff also. They really did a lot of the paperwork that kind of got us to where we are. So.
Josh, let us go to our students, no? What are the common misconceptions that you hear when you enrolled in the pharmacy and, of course, physical therapy department? Ms. Criezl?
So the most common misconception of being a pharmacist is being called as only a tindero or tindera in a botica. So they say it's like a conventional salesperson, as you know, because they see them as only, you know, put it in the bag, then
Yes.
dispensing them without them knowing that it is with hard work and dedication in graduating BS Pharmacy. You need to study hard so that you will be able to become a pharmacist, pass the board exam. So it's heartbreaking for pharmacists to be called a tindero or tindera.
Yeah, because I think, Ron, it's also crucial to really dispense the right drugs, especially if these are not really the over-the-counter types of
Yes.
drugs.
The
So
antibiotics.
later on, we'll be talking about the roles of pharmacists. But I'd
And-
like to hear from our PT student here.
Well, I think it's very common that when you think of PT, a lot of people will think masahista in our
From a tindera to
Tindera.
a masahista.
or for those who don't understand, being a masseuse.
Okay.
But yes, PT does include massage. There's what we call massage therapy. It may be a specialty or like one of the things we also learn in the classroom. However, it's a very broad course. Physical therapy not only involves like manual therapy, we also learn how to use equipments. And we also have different kinds of demographics in terms of the patient. We have the pediatrics or the babies, and we even reach the old population or what we call the geriatrics. And there's even the sports. There's even just the typical day-to-day, and we're even including the office space, recently we have ergonomics, which is very nice. It's one of my favorite subjects as well. So I think that's one of the things that I'd like the mass or the general public to know, that physical therapy isn't just boxed in one word, which is masahista. It's so much more than that.
So it also includes ergonomics.
Yes.
So am I
yes.
sitting properly right now? Or maybe my spine now,
Actually, there's a lot of things that I'd like to fix, but so far it's all right.
Okay. Thank you, Angel.
Yeah, Josh, there's a lot of prejudices against the pharmacies and the physical therapy. But don't get us wrong, being a tindera and masahista are decent jobs, and it's a noble job, no?
Yes.
So let us ask our faculty and our dean from IRS, how do you address this common misconception against your programs?
Yes, I agree with Criezl that we are often called as a tindera, but we cannot just deal on that because we value our profession. And what is important is that we know our role and our importance in the community, such as dispensing medications. It is very crucial for us to dispense medication that isn't right dose, that it isn't right for the patient, and it is not right dosage, and of course the administration. So it is very important for us to secure that we are receiving quality of medications and we are dispensing it to the right patient with the right dose at the right time. So we have to evaluate as well on how they are going to administer the medications personally, because we have, let's say for example, the vaginal capsule. If you are not going to educate patient about vaginal capsule, they will just take it orally. So they will go back to the physician and tell the physicians that they weren't cured. So it is the responsibility of the pharmacies to ensure that we are delivering, we are telling the patients about the use of the medication. So it is very important for their illnesses as well. So I think.
How about Dr. Bautista? How do you address these misconceptions?
Okay, for me, I think the misconception can be corrected primarily through the professional himself or herself. Education is key. Communicating with the people who are misinformed, and the person themselves who's like offering the profession, or like the PT, or like who is offering the rehabilitation, must really kind of like inform the other people. Okay, and then unfortunately, I think this is kind of more of a cultural change. We are way
I agree.
far from it, because it is me migrating back from the US to here. It's that, and I think that's the reason why there's migration of our allied health professionals outside of the country. So that is a very unfortunate event, but it's definitely a different ballgame in like your first world countries. Like pharmacists are like, they're way up there, you know? So like in the United States, there are pharmacists, you're like, wow. So never a tindera, no? Like physical therapy, they're like, wow. Okay, so there's like that wow factor in other countries that are first world countries. So I think with us, it's going to take a lot more effort. Of course, it starts with the individual, and then hopefully as a collaborative group, we can inform people on what really PT or pharmacy really are. So.
Right. So aside from the education, it's also something cultural, and I do agree. So we are just going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll be asking our students here, what are the highlights of your experiences in the institute and in the department, and do you have time for love life? All of that and more when #Silliman returns. Welcome back. You're still watching Hashtag Silliman. Before we took a break, we actually asked our students about their favorite experiences. What are the highlights of your experience as a BS pharmacy student, BSPT student? What are the perhaps highlights in terms of immersion, in terms of laboratory exposures? And is it too demanding to be a PT and a pharmacy student? Love life, may time pa ba? Okay, let's start with our BSPT student. Angel.
All right, so being part of one of the very few courses who had the chance to have the face-to-face classes early, I could say that one of the highlights would be having that face shield PPE moment in the classroom.
Like an astronaut.
Yeah, basically, which was very new. It felt like a new dimension because when I was a first-year student, we didn't have to be careful, like getting close to your classmates or just sitting by side.
Right.
However, coming back to the classroom after the pandemic or even during the pandemic, we had to be mindful of our social distancing. The teacher's like way far there and we have to like listen with our face shields on and our masks. It was very difficult. So that's truly a highlight. And regarding the immersion, I'm very thankful because the curriculum has what we call the PT in the clinic and PT in the community. It's one of the subjects wherein basically all of our subjects are rolled into one. And we get to meet patients. It's so wonderful to see patients in the real form and not just in the books because it's so different. Every patient is unique. So it really helped me learn that, the clinical eye is something that I should really practice on and not just merely based on the theories.
Right.
And you can't just say, okay, I have this patient, let's say like a CP patient, and in the books...
What is a CP?
Oh, sorry. A CP is a cerebral palsy patient.
Okay.
And let's say in the book it says to do this, but like it's a patient and you can't do it. What do you do?
Right.
And it's up to you. And it really helps me like, when I become a professional someday, I need to treat my patient as an individual and not just like one of the statistics I've learned.
So I think that's a very authentic way of learning, and I think kudos as well to IRS because they have a free PT clinic, no? So it's also advocacy driven. We'll be discussing that in a little bit. But how about for our BS pharmacy student?
For the BS Farm,
Or graduate?
yes, as a pioneering batch, sadly we weren't able to have a face-to-face internship. So the highlight is having a virtual internship. So only in computers, like you'll just have to listen to the preceptor. So we joined a PPGP. We had our institutional, regulatory and public health pharmacy, community pharmacy. We had a module, I think. We have a module only in that part. And thankfully, we had our hospital internship at Silliman University, SUMC. So the highlight, I think the best part was the face-to-face in hospital pharmacy in Silliman University because we've experienced it face-to-face, like how it would feel like to dispense, to prepare, and we've seen like, this may be my possible career in the future. Yeah.
And the reading of handwriting.
Yeah, we don't really memorize. Just to clear that one.
How do you do it? How do you read the
I'm
doctor's
also curious.
It's because you always see it, you always encounter it, so the moment it will become familiar even though the doctor doesn't make it.
So familiarization is key
Yes,
to understanding.
that's the key. And yeah.
Okay, dapat man manawagan sa mga doktor.
Yes, sana naman. Sana naman, Diyos, ayusin nyo naman. Diyos, ayusin nyo.
So yeah, let us go back to Joshua's question. Dr. Bautista, can we talk more about your community, what do you call that?
Free PT clinic.
Yeah, free PT clinic.
Okay, so the free PT clinic, we actually did the soft opening on that way back in 2019 amidst the pandemic. That was actually the plan like since 2018, but then I'm like, okay, we're gonna push it because we don't really know at that time how long the pandemic was going to last. And we really did have a lot of patients that were already developing contractures, difficulty with moving, and so again, thankfully at that time the local DOH approved us to see 8 patients per day. So it was we're like, okay, that's better than nothing. So we started that. And that was with the full support of the administration, the church, the president. So thank you for that. So we did not encounter a lot of issues with approvals on that. And it's a clinic wherein we accept patients who are either indigents, low income. We defined low income population as those making under 20,000 pesos. So really a lot of people will qualify for service there because we know how physical therapy could really get expensive. So and it's totally free. We always get that question like in
Is it
Facebook.
free?
Is it really free? Or baka naman pagdating ko dyan first visit, tsaka nyo kami singilin ba?
Opo,
Kasi
yeah.
it's very unusual daw. I've been told many times na it's very unusual na it's truly free. It's usually daw come on, people come, and then
Yeah.
after that may charge pala.
Yeah.
So, and that's a common thing, and so we get that a lot. Is it really free? And it is really free. So, we don't charge anything as long as you qualify for that. And if you don't have an indigency card, people can just get a barangay certification that they are jobless, they don't have no source of income. So, I mean, that's also acceptable. Let me also take this time to also promote. We
Sure.
will be opening our Valencia
Wow,
RHU. So
an extension clinic.
yes, so this is going to be an OPD and a community-based rehabilitation. So it's a partnership through the Valencia municipality. And so the location is going to be inside the Rural Health Center in the
Okay.
Valencia proper. So that
Wonderful.
will be open also July 1.
All right.
So, Dr. Bautista, thank you very much for that initiative.
Right. I'd like to ask because, of course, in the kind of dynamism that we have right now in terms of technology, in terms of social issues, how do you make sense to these societal talks? Like, for example, BS pharmacy program, how do you become relevant, say, in the talks of climate change or, say, public health concern, like overpopulation?
Okay, being a healthcare provider, it has been a challenge for us to deliver a message to the people, most especially that we are doing it virtual. So what we are up to is that we have a program with our profession, the same as the other pharmacies, wherein we collaborate, and then we set our meetings and virtual encounters as well, and we invite students, most especially our students now, so that they will be able to know their importance soon as they become a pharmacist as well, and of course educating other people such as their immersion in the community, and then they also have their different activities. So they have to encounter patients maybe at their homes or in their community, wherein they have to interact and then at least educate about their medication. So I think that somehow we do that for the sake of because of the pandemic. So I think
So
that's
some
the
restrictions
yes,
for now. Right?
there
How
are
about for
some
the
restrictions.
PT program, Dr. Lily?
We have been involved in a lot of things, so like Odette, webinars, health promotion. So we're very active on that. Thanks to our very, very active SOPITSA, so that's the Student Organization for Physical Therapy. So we get them involved in a lot of these health promotions, injury reduction or prevention. So to get at least with the limitation that we have, but we have been slowly going back to normal. We even had an actual face-to-face in collaboration with the Dumaguete CSWD, where we did a lot of education, and then also some disease prevention. And then also physical therapy in general, there is this emerging trend now of what they call environmental PT. It's bound to get big because it's been they've been promoting it worldwide. It works on the principle that human health cannot really be achieved without environmental health, which is
Alright.
very, very true. Because you need your eco-health, your planetary health, you need sustainability healthcare for all of this to come into play. Because without them, then how do you achieve like true health of an individual? So again, that's like a very big thing that's coming out in the physical therapy profession. So and there's already talk about even including it in the curriculum and such. So it's going to
That's
be
so
great
interesting.
For that. Yes.
Yeah, it only means that everything is connected to everything now. So let us go back to our students. We usually ask this question to our guests, and it requires a lot of retrospection and, you know, recalling of the knowledge and concepts that you learned from your programs. How can we use, or how can you use the principles in pharmacy and of course physical therapy in addressing in life, basically? How are you going to do that?
So in life, as the most accessible healthcare professional, so pharmacists play a role in public health policy development, linking disease prevalence and drug utilization. So let's say in this pandemic or during the COVID-19 pandemic, the pharmacists had various different roles, such as in disease prevention and infection control. They had to have adequate, make sure that we have adequate storage and drug supply, patient care, of course, and support to other healthcare professionals. And we play the major role in vaccine hesitancy because, as you know, pharmacists are knowledgeable in that part, and with that we can provide facts about the vaccines and debunk the misinformations spreading in social media. Because as you know, in Facebook, someone died due to vaccines, and we want to inform them that that's not the case. That's not the only factor, that maybe something is involved with that incident, and not just the vaccine alone. Let's not blame the vaccine, because a vaccinated individual is safer than an unvaccinated individual in this pandemic.
How about Angel?
Well, regarding our course with life, I would first say that one analogy that I can do is the body. So one thing I've learned in the classroom is that the body is a chain. Everything moves and other things move along it. You can't just move and other things don't move. It's basically a chain.
Even you're sleeping, no?
So it's just like life. When one part of your life changes, other things change along with it. So that's just one thing I'd like to add. But regarding how PT is related to our livelihood, PT does not only, how would I say, treat patients, but majority of our profession emphasizes on prevention. We like to call ourselves the movement enablers because we emphasize that movement actually does a lot of things. A lot of the problems occur because you're not moving much and then you become sedentary.
Yeah.
But the moment you start moving, even if it's hard at first, if you learn to have that habit of just moving, even just walking every day, it has a drastic effect in the long term of your life. So that's one thing I'd like to share. And also, exercise isn't supposed to be like hardcore or something. Just a light exercise will do. And even when you're sitting, it's how you're sitting would also affect how you're sitting would also affect your posture. Let's say, oh, I'm having back pains. I think I have something wrong. But what were you doing in the first place?
Right.
Were you having the wrong chair?
Okay.
So those are just some things that I think that I wish the profession and everyone else would also like to know.
Very practical tips, no? And very practical sharing. And as much as we want to discuss more things, but we are really running out of time, Dr. Lily and Ma'am Giselle briefly talk about career opportunities, then your admission requirements and procedures in your institute and department. Let's start with our BS Pharmacy program.
All right. After you graduate and pass the boards, there are a vast of opportunities that our graduates or a board passer can go. We have the community pharmacy, and then we have the hospital pharmacy, regulatory pharmacy, and manufacturing pharmacy. And it can also be they can also have the opportunity to do researches or to be part in any researches, most especially in the pharmacovigilance studies and the vaccines and the new drug development. Okay, and so they have the opportunity to go there. It's the decision of the pharmacies to be a part of that. And for our admission, as of now, if you're interested to become a pharmacy student in Silliman University, we are requiring the report card of our senior high graduates to be submitted in the pharmacy link. We have pharmacy@su.edu.ph, so you can just email there, and then we will be providing a link wherein they can submit their report cards, and then we will do further evaluation. And then we require at least 85% above for all the sciences subjects of the student, and no grades below 80 for non-sciences, and with an average of 85 above for the GPA. And after the evaluation, if we have found that the student is qualified for the BS Pharmacy program, we will have the exam, the entrance exam. The entrance exam would be more on the basic sciences, mathematics, and then basic knowledge about medications, so that we can assess if the student is really interested in our course. And after that one, we will be sending an email if they are going to pursue the course.
Are you strand specific, ma'am? Like,
No.
Is that to be a STEM graduate,
Yeah.
an ABM,
Yeah.
a UMS?
We have students coming from different tracks. Yes, we have STEM or STEAM, and we also have GAS and the other.
So you're open?
Yes, we are open, but for others that aren't STEM or STEAM, they have to get the augmentation. So basically, they will get another year,
Right.
so that they can pursue the course.
Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Giselle.
Yes,
Ma'am
sir.
Lily.
Okay, for physical therapy, the opportunities are like endless. Okay, so you can be an entrepreneur, open your own clinic. You can work at a hospital. You can, be chill if you want, like just work under someone. But you can also really open up your own business. You can involve yourself in home care, or outpatient, acute care. And then you have, I think Meg already mentioned, you can be a sports therapist, a neurotherapist, a pediatric therapist, a geriatric therapist. So it's very engaging. So for example, a person might start off with varying let's say discipline of the PT profession. Then they decided, oh, this is not for me. I don't like pediatric much. Then they can move on to sport, and so they can find really the thing that they love the most. That's why, if you guys research it, PTs are actually one of the happiest people.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys can Google
I want
that.
to be a PT now.
Yes, because you can really find your niche and really find the thing that you love the most, because it's not only one kind of area.
It's
So
a
there's
flexible
many
profession.
things
That's
that you can do. So if this is not for you, then maybe this is for you. For me, I'm mostly an orthopedic therapist, and I love it. Up to now, I love it. So because you find the thing that you're passionate about. So very, very much a very, very good course. And then also, it has been proven to be a very good pre-medicine course. So for those of you who want to go to medicine, we are now only a 4-year program compared to the 5 years. So that's why I think the growth also of the department. We are very, very strong on clinical evaluation, patient care. So a lot of our previous alumni are saying that really medicine is a lot easier for them because of the strength in that, plus strength in anatomy, in physiology. So they really do well in med program. As far as our admissions, I think very similar to pharmacy. So I think the easiest way would be to email us at irs@su.edu.ph, and then we send a link for some of the requirements. But with ours though, it's a weighted thing. So we give 50% to the senior high grade 11 and 12, and then 25% to an entrance exam, and 25% to the interview portion. Same thing, STEAM or STEM, direct entry, but for the non-STEAM or the non-STEM, we do also require the bridging courses. So.
Thank you,
Alright.
Ma'am Lily, and thank you, Ma'am
Yes,
Giselle. I hope you took note for those who are aspiring to become pharmacists and physical therapists. At this point in time, let us have fun. Let us have fast talk. You don't have to think longer than you used to do earlier. You just have to choose one. Okay, let's start with.
Let's start with Ma'am Giselle.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't think too hard about this. Okay. Beaches or the mountains?
Beaches.
Criezl, summer or rainy days?
Summer.
Angel, mornings or afternoons?
Afternoons.
Ma'am Lily, are you a night owl or an early bird?
Night owl, definitely.
Ma'am Giselle, cheese bread or the baked siopao?
Bake shop.
Baked siopao. Okay.
Criezl, is it the present or the future?
Future.
All right. Angel, is it ODL or face to face?
Face to face.
Face to face.
Yes.
Ma'am Lily, is it home or your office?
Home.
Home. Okay. I think they should answer all of this. Is it love or career?
Career for me
Career.
first. No love yet.
Chris.
Career.
Career. Oh, career
Angel,
oriented.
Career.
Ma'am Lily.
I think love because my husband would not like it if I
Ma'am Giselle, 3 character traits of a pharmacist.
Responsible, open-minded, and respectful.
Respectful. All right.
Responsible, open-minded, and respectful.
Yes.
3 reasons why choose the PT program. Angel.
It's diverse. We have 3 words only, right?
Yeah. Diverse.
So, diverse. It's engaging and it's mind-boggling.
Okay.
So it seems that Ma'am Lily is happily married. She should answer this fast talk. 3 things to look for an ideal partner.
Okay. They have
All
to-
ears.
Okay. Supportive.
Support.
Okay. Of course, like loving
Loving.
and very family oriented.
Supportive, loving, and family-oriented. Okay, take notes, single ladies.
Okay, noted. All right, for the last set, you just have to say one word and complete the statement. Silliman University is...
Fun.
Silliman University is the bomb.
Silliman University is...
Home.
Silliman is...
Love.
Silliman is...
Fun.
Oh, home, love, and fun. And we hope you had fun in our conversation tonight. And we have now come to the last segment of the show. It's called hashtag WTP or Word to Ponder. Ron, what's the word to ponder?
I think I have pondered already about this word. It's move, but
Move.
I'd like to ponder on another word. It's selflessness. Because
Selflessness.
our allied health professionals need to have or need to embody this kind of selflessness. Because to give care to others, we need to have a certain level of selflessness. And I'd like to pick up what Angel said. Now, we need to treat other people as individuals and not just part of the statistics. How about you, Josh?
Well, I'd like to ponder on the sharing of our BS Pharmacy guest here about when they say about being careful or being accurate on the dispensing of drugs. So I'd like to ponder on the word careful, essentially because our decisions in life at large could be consequential to the others. And it's like our body, everything is connected, it's a chain, so there's a domino effect. So with prudence, with extreme care, we shall decide. Thank you for joining us tonight, and to God be the glory. Hey there, Sillimanians! Thank you for supporting hashtag Silliman. Please support as well our Facebook page. It's called hashtag Silliman. We also have a YouTube channel. It's called hashtag Silliman. Please click the notification bell for you to be updated with our recent posts. Comment, like, and share, and see you there.
And please don't forget to catch us at Phil Products Channel 6 every Monday at 8 p.m. And replays will be shown every Tuesday before the noontime news and every Saturday after the noontime news. This has been Ronelyn Vailoces.
And Joshua Soldivillo. See you next week only here on hashtag Silliman. Bye!